Well, the NRL's now handed down sanctions to the West Tigers over the quad um, gesture after the game on the weekend. Brent Naden has got a breach notice, we believe a fine, not sure the exact amount at the moment, and three other players were warned. Doggy, what do you think? You pretty happy with those sanctions, or?
Yeah, I think they got the sanctions right ready. They had to do something. I think it was totally inappropriate. I thought it was inflammatory and it was provocative, and it could have led to, I think, could have led to some, drama in the crowd. I think it was just unnecessary. They could quite easily have celebrated Reedy by waving their hands or blowing a kiss, whatever they wanted to do. But I don't know where they found out about this hand gesture or how they found out about it rather. But I think it has to be stamped out of our game, and anything that goes into that racial area, I think, is in poor taste and in poor form. And it was a shame because it tainted what was probably their best win of the season.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was just silly, right? And, in the heat of the moment, I can sort of understand to an extent, because obviously that was an inflammatory game. Lachlan Gelvin up against his old club. You could see it meant a lot to the Tigers. So in that moment, I can sort of understand why they got a bit carried away, and I reckon the NRL's probably taken that into account as well. But the Brent Naden one, when he came out after the game and went on social media, I understand it's a private message, but it's social media. That stuff gets out, as we know. So I can also understand why they've sanctioned him and fined him, Doggy, because for me that went a step too far. It was unnecessary.
I've spoken to a few people over the last 48 hours, Reedy, with Middle Eastern heritage. Some claim to have no problem at all. It's a bit of a, excuse the pun, and up yours in Arabic, and they don't have a problem with it. Others say it is the most offensive thing you can do. One bloke who's heavily involved in rugby league, I won't name him, said he has never done it in his life for fear of retribution. So that's how serious he takes it. So, depending on who you talk to, it depends on the severity of what you think it could lead to. I still think it could have led to some drama in the crowd. I'm not particularly picking out Bulldogs fans here, but it was directed at them. And I just think if West Tigers had their time over again, they'd just think about it a bit more. I mean, it was bullfed behaviour. Let's be honest here. And it went to an area where we're not used to in rugby league, and it went to an area that has to be fixed immediately. I think the NRL did a good job there. The only question I've got, Reedy, and I'll ask you is, if hand gestures are frowned upon, that's fine. But what happens if someone gives the middle finger now in a game? Is that now possible contrary conduct?
Well, I think it has to be, Dog. I mean, there's been a sort of a bar laid now, a marker laid, and I think if that happens in a game, then there's got to be sanctions or warnings of some variety to follow, because that's sort of an equivalent, right? So, I think they've laid a marker now, and if players do inflammatory hand signals, middle fingers, that sort of thing, they've got to be sanctioned as well. I mean, the shame for me, Dog, is it's overshadowed one of the great performances for the West Tigers in recent seasons. I thought they were amazing on the weekend against the Dogs, but all we're talking about, sadly, is this COD, right? So that's the disappointing thing for me. If you're a Tigers official, that's why I reckon Richo and Benji would be a bit disappointed that this has sort of overshadowed a great performance by that footy club.
Yeah, you're a bit closer to the Tigers than I am, Reedy, and I haven't managed to get Rich. I've had a couple of text exchange, which have been one-word answers, but the impression I get is that they're filthy, not so much at the players, but maybe filthy at the coverage that it's garnered through the media and social media.
Well, mate, I haven't got him either, Doggy. Would you believe he's gone to ground, Richo? So I don't know what his feelings are in this. I'd be surprised if he's not disappointed with the players, because, as I said, it's sort of overshadowed a great performance by the footy team, and it's put them in the media for the wrong reasons again, which has happened a little bit too much for the Tigers in recent years. And Richo's tried to change the culture of that footy club along with Benji. So I'm sure Richo wouldn't be happy about it, but ultimately, I think they'll accept the sanctions and move on, because to get away with a warning for three players, and then what we believe is a relatively small fine for Brent Naden. I mean, you take that and you leave and walk away and go, thanks very much, and move on to next week. Well, I've got the bye this week, but you move on to the week after.